Ugh. Welcome to the Sunday night chat. I forgot to check this, but screw it. How you doing? Mm. It's water. Don't get your hopes up. I know I'm far more entertaining when I got a buzz going. My name's Mike, in case you haven't been here before. This is the Sunday night chat where I kind of sum up the week. It's mostly the week of my life. Try to pop this toe here again. All right. It's a hell of a week. I wrote notes down. I actually wrote notes. Well, this is funny. Stupid as consequence. This is one of my T-shirt ideas here. I'm always drawing up these T-shirts, and before I get to my notes, because I didn't want to miss anything. Not much, but I could write 2 sentences, and that could be 2 hours. You guys know me. Okay, you can tell I live alone. I don't talk enough. That's why when I get on here, it's just... All right, listen. I came home the other day. I had 2 packages from you guys. What do I tell you all the time? Other than I'm so pro. I got the best subscribers. So, what's your name here? Tim Johnson. Here's what's funny about Tim Johnson. That's the name of the guy who owns the house where I have my workshop. So when I saw the box with Tim Johnson, I was like, I was just there. I just made Tim. Tim's falling apart, man. He's using a walker. He's got this basket on it, and I stitched up. I should put a picture in here, but I won't. But I stitched up a leather holster for him for the side for a remote that he wanted. Anyhow, Tim sent me this note with a gift here. It says, Mike, thought you might like this gadget. Love your show. It's not a show, man. So this is not, Sarah's thing is a show, right? This is more of like a vlog, I suppose. Because I'm being me all the time. I'm not putting on anything. Who I am here is who I am all the time. There's nothing, I'm not inventing anything here. Sorry it took a while, like as if I knew when you bought it, but that's funny. Still dealing with flood issues in North Carolina. Dude, I am so sorry to hear you're one of those people that are affected by that. Like, everything that's going, we're going to get into this. All right, everything that's going on right now with Doge and one of those agencies there that FEMA, right, and not giving money to you guys, but giving money for hotels for illegals to be staying in. You would think that, I mean, look, it's only been 8 weeks. We're in the 8th week of this new administration, so it's going to take a little time. We're going to get into this. We're going to talk about me getting into it because some interesting things have been happening here lately. That's coming. Let's try. Let's not jump the gun. Slow down on the weave. Let's pull it back in. I just opened a box and he sent me this glue bottle here. This is for woodworking. I guess it keeps your glue fresher longer, maybe. It's got different ways you can use the tip. I figured out different ways to use the tip a long time ago. I'm just saying. Just the tip, but there's things you could do with just the tip, and I'm just saying. But there's a, I've seen these for years. I never bought one because the way I do mine, I usually put anyhow. What I do works fine. But since you sent it to me, I will use this, and I might even do a review on the channel of it. Because I've always been curious about stuff like this. There's a lot of stuff you'll notice, even with my leather work and everything, where I make my own tools, or I figure out how to do things with things I'm literally pulling out of the trash that'll do the job instead of spending money on something. Don't hear that the wrong way, Tim. I want you to know I really do appreciate this. It just shows that you think of me, and that's wonderful. Don't feel guilty now, Tim, because I'm going to show you what somebody else sent me. Because this is over the friggin' top. This is so over the top, man. It's just so crazy. Roger. Oh, wait a second now. Do I have this wrong? Was that... I think it was Roger. I think Tim, if I got these backwards, if it was Tim that sent me this other thing and Roger that sent me this, I apologize. I got the boxes mixed up. We'll find out in a second here. No, no, that was Tim. Yeah. Tim sent me the glue thing. I'm so pro. So look at this. Because you know what I need. Everybody knows the one thing I absolutely need, hands down, unequivocally, comedy is going to be hard for me when I'm doing this because I can't pronounce these, $3 words every once in a while. Uh, I absolutely need. There's no doubt about it. If you know me, the one thing I need is another watch. So I don't need another watch. Here's what's cool about this. I haven't owned a Citizen. I recently got my buddy's Citizen working. He had a vintage, like 1983 ish Citizen Quartz, which, by the way, he's been wearing that and he beat it on it so hard that he knocked the second hand off the movement and it stopped working. So that watch is done. It's officially done. Citizen is a fine watch brand, and they make certified dive watches, 200-meter divers that are a fraction of the cost of Seiko's. They have their own design style, which there's been a couple Citizens I've seen that I've looked at and I've been like, yeah, I could see that if I found one of those used really cheap, maybe. But what I really like about Citizen is their packaging, because they do this thing where some of their dive watches come in what looks like a air tank for diving. So when I opened this box and I saw this box, I thought, well, I don't really need another watch, but it's so nice of you guys to be thinking of me. And then I thought, oh, am I going to get lucky here? We're going to get into the cards, but sure enough, that it's weird. I almost want to keep it in the box and not screw with it and just hold on to it for the future. But at the same time, I kind of want to put this on my table here behind me and have it there as a prop. Let's look at the card. Excuse me. He knows if you've been bad or good. That's ridiculous. This is a card he sent me. I guess this was supposed to maybe be a Christmas present. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Gotta put everything to the side here. He did put my name on this, so I know he sent it to the right person. I'm sleuthing. Thanks, thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't for you and everybody else watching me, I wouldn't be here. I think I did read this when I first got it. He signed it Roger Rabbit. Just can't thank you enough. Thank you, bro. You didn't write on here for me not to read this, so I'm going to read it. I don't know. Dear Mike, I heard the name of this watch and thought of your often said comment, I'm so pro. I forgot that he wrote this, which is funny that it's like the fourth time I've said this so far in this video. I looked at reviews and found unusual universal praise for this watch, but disdain for the strap. I know you have options, in parentheses. Consensus is it's a perfect beater that runs on any light. So I think it's the Eco Drive. Long-term reviews all say set it and forget it. It's built like a Russian tank, so it's not drone-proof. This guy's got a sense of humor. I like it. A good everyday watch that you don't have to worry about scratching or breaking. It's also great. It's a great timekeeper. Why? Why he wrote why, and then he's got a bunch of bullet points here. And what he meant there is why he sent this to me. I can read between the lines, man. I know I'm a bit of a palooka, but it's a higher than average intellect there. It just comes out like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Point one, you introduced me to my old watch hobby. Point two, my old habit of treating people well is now reinforced by giving watches to family and friends. Which, dude, I've been doing that, because I went off the friggin' cliff with this watch hobby. Ridiculous. And so now I've been giving them away to friends and family. It's a great present for somebody. Your no nonsense political reviews are the same that my World War II Navy dad passed on to me. I want you guys to remember that point because that's going to be part of this video today. I've been getting a lot of messages in the comments, but also privately. You guys are motivating me. I talked to Sabo about it on the phone last night, and hopefully I'll get into that. I think I got it in my notes here. You convinced me to treat lefties better. Instead of anger, I'm now amused at these Down syndrome victims of public education. Dude, we all are. And we all went there, man. It's just like if you're Gen X, we were like the last generation that still had common sense. They were already at that point trying to drum it out of us, but it was too late, But the next group, screwed. Heck, I was retarded once too, but at least I can still have good conversations with them about other things, like watches. Sincerely, Roger Hare, Rabbit, Hickory, North Carolina. P.S. This did not come with a manual, but it's dead nuts simple. You will figure it out. It's not like it's rocket surgery. It's a yogiism. Dude, Roger, brother, thank you. Let's look at the watch. This is not, I forgot to look at the watch again to see what time I started. So pretty cool. It's like Star Trek or something. So it's cool. It's a. I'm not going to do a review of this watch right now. We're going to get into some other things here, but it's a Citizen Eco Drive, meaning it's a solar powered watch. It's nice. I always like a dive watch that has a red minute hand. It's easier to see it. It's got a 60 click bezel. I'll do a review on this watch at a later date, but very cool. Thank you again. Now, let's get on to this past week, huh? I'm mostly in a good mood, but you pick up on little things. I was off Facebook for quite some time. There was a thing that happened with my computer and I couldn't access my account, but I got it going again. So I've been on there for about a year, but I don't spend time on Facebook. I go on it mostly because people are sending me messages through Messenger and I got to kind of go on there to get to those messages. I post on my page almost daily and usually a couple things that I think are interesting or funny. And I've taken it upon myself lately, and it started with the Sunday night chat here where I've been kind of laying out what I see that's going on with the politics. As, I didn't think about what I was doing. Like, it's not like I have a grand plan here because you know why. I'm so pro. I don't plan any of this. It just comes out. But I guess if I'm analyzing myself and why, it's because I'm seeing stuff and hearing stuff that I know is media manipulation of some of your brains. Of course, we see it here in the comments. Thank you lately. Some of you have been voicing your opinion in the comments about the trolls in my comments. So you're seeing it. Thank you for seeing it. But when I pop on Facebook, I scroll through a little bit. I try to read a little bit what's going on because I'm there mainly because of the people I'm friends with. I mean, real friends with. People I have people there that I went to grade school and high school with that we're still friends. So I want to see what's going on in their lives and their families and their kids and all that stuff. And a couple of my bros from back home are losing their shit because I know they're watching and listening to probably MSNBC or CNN or listening to NPR or whatever. And they're allowing themselves to be manipulated into being upset and angry over the what ifs based upon the stuff that Trump is doing with hiring Elon and Elon doing what he's doing with the Doge thing. And by the way, this past week, I don't know if you saw, maybe I could find them and share them on my page, but a bunch of clips came out, mainly with Obama and Hillary, and there was a couple others, but I can't think of their names right now. I don't know if I could see the faces, but where they're complaining about spending and graft and waste. They were saying it. Of course, they didn't do anything about it, but they talked exactly about what's happening right now. Like they wanted to do it, but they never actually did anything about it. Now that Trump brought somebody in that can put the right people in place to do it, all the lefties' heads are exploding, which makes no friggin' sense. There's going to be bumps in the road. I've said this already. They're going to do things. They're going to make a mistake here and there, but they're going to fix it as quick as they can if it's something that needs to be fixed. But the bottom line is in the end, they're going to end up saving the country $1 trillion or more a year. And that's going to help us. It's going to help pay off our debt and everything else. And some reports just came out this week which is crazy. Already inflation is going down. Price of eggs came down in a lot of places. Price of gas came down in a lot of places. So there's already a Trump effect this quick in less than 8 weeks. Okay? So relax. Let it settle. Stop jumping into the worst case scenarios because you're listening. This is the thing that just pisses me off is that so many of you, not most of you here, most of you here, we're kind of on the same wavelength here. But there's a bunch of you here that don't like when I talk about this stuff because you don't agree with what I'm saying. Let me just say, I am not saying these things because I'm trying to get anybody to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me. I'm not saying these things because I think I'm right. I could be wrong. Don't care. This is just my opinion right now at this moment in time. And the opinion I have on any of these subjects that I share with you right now is subject to change as time moves on. We're going to get into that in a moment with this jerk-off John Bolton that I watched an interview with the other day. Just want to rip his fucking mustache off. Just want to rip the mustache off and smack him a little bit. Anyhow. Yeah, everybody's freaking out. So because I'm seeing the freaking out, I am voicing my opinion on these things in a manner that I hope is grounded. Now, and why I'm doing it is just because I'm compelled to do it. But you heard the point that Roger just made, and I've been getting these notes, like I said, and there's quite a few of you that have reached out to me, encouraging me to continue to speak to politics the way I've been doing on the Sunday Night Chat. And I suppose some of my videos that might pop up here and there during the week, if it's on this sort of subject. I am not a political guy. Don't want to get that deep into it. I talked with Sabo last night on the phone about this. He's encouraging me too. We're going to get into the comedy videos too because of him. Hopefully I'll remember that. Let me jot that down real quick. Because he's part of the reason I'm doing it. And I don't want to forget that. So I'm getting these comments from you guys. Basically, the gist of it is, and I'm paraphrasing, and it's really the same message from several people. Apparently, I didn't even know I was doing this because I'm not analyzing myself. Many of you are liking my common sense approach to what's happening and the way I'm viewing it and analyzing it and then rolling it through my brain and then coming here and talking about it. It seems like you think it's good for the left. That's what I'm hearing. You think I'm appealing to that side in a way because I'm not attacking. Because I don't hate people on the left. A lot of my friends tend to lean that way. Now, the point that this one friend of mine, two of them, excuse me, this week, kind of put some stuff up there. It's nonsensical. I don't want to repeat it or use their names or anything. But both of these guys, and I'm thinking of another guy too that I don't even talk to anymore, who's like my brother. He's always called me his brother, and I don't hear from him anymore. And it's because of what's going on in his life and the lives of these guys. And one of the things that they all have in common, they're all married. The guy I mentioned, that the brother guy, he's divorced. He's currently with a new lady he's been with for a few years now, and they might get married. She happens to be a Hispanic woman from another country, which is a whole thing with him. But when he was married, he had a daughter. And then my other friends that I'm talking about right now, they have daughters. And I'm not judging this. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. This is just an observation. This is an observation, and I'm giving you 3 examples right now, but there's more. An observation I have is that when a man is married and stays married and has daughters, and that's all that's in the house is a wife and multiple other females, something happens to the guy. Something just happens, man. It's like too many cats in the house and going crazy because of that cat thing, with the litter box and the cat dander and everything. It makes you crazy. Something's going on there. It's like all that estrogen starts seeping into your pores and you start thinking like a chick. I'm giving you a hard time. We're going to get into the comedy videos. We're going to segue into that next. But that's all that's happening. And I understand it. They're sympathetic. The girls are hearing all this stuff. The women are emotional. It's all feelings all the time. Everything's about how you feel. That's all you're hearing. You're bombarded with, and you love these people. You love your wife. You love your daughters. So you're letting it seep in. And all of a sudden, it starts making sense to you. And that's when you're in trouble. That's when you need the bros, man. I have one friend, and he's one of the guys I'm talking about. 8 years ago, made me an offer to move to where he was living. It was a good offer. Just because he needed a man friend. Because, he was wife, daughter, and then in a business where he's working with women. And he's like, dude, I just need a guy I can say motherfucker around on a regular basis. Like, that's what you need. So if you're around your wife and your daughters all the time, and you don't have guy friends to remind you that you're still a man, your testicles are still producing testosterone, although I think that's what happens. I think all the women around you all the time, I think the testicles stop doing what they're supposed to be doing. You start getting a little soft, a little pudgy. You get mentally numb, So I'm screwing with you. Right now, those guys, if they're seeing this, they're like, fuck you, man. I still love you, all right? And what would be great is if we did have an argument and have a beer over it, and let's bring it to fisticuffs. Let's bring it to the floor and roll around, smack each other around, whatever. Because afterwards, I'm going to tell you I love you for doing that. At least it shows me you're still producing some testosterone. You're still a man. Man the fuck up is what I'm saying. Because you sound like a bitch. You're sounding like a bitch, some of you. And it's temporary. This shit's all temporary. Relax. It's going to be fine. Now, I spoke with... Well, let's segue into those videos I did. I did 2 videos this week. Let's just get rid of this. Make my life easier. I did those videos. They were funny videos. They were 1 minute. My buddy John back home called me on the first one. He's like, dude, you had me. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, he's like, oh no, what did somebody say to him? He's talking about being sensitive. And then I hit you with the joke. And then the second one was where I was talking about the pretty old ladies. And it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. I said something like, I can't talk to attractive old ladies that I think are attractive. What's the definition of attractive for me? We've been through this before. Pretty face, bright eyes, pretty eyes, great smile, skin, figure, keeping your figure, a sense of style, very important, how you hold yourself, confidence, all those things factor in, and she had it. So I avoided eye contact because I could have been like this. And when I say old lady, I got a couple comments from women because every woman over 50 is upset and they think they're old, and so they think I'm talking about them. No, this lady was like in her probably her late 70s, which makes it funnier. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say that, and I probably should have. But I said, like, if we start talking, and I'm my charming self, and I'm flirty because I'm happen to be kind of a natural flirt. I don't mean anything by it. I'm never doing that intentionally to get to some point. That's just who I am. Just trying to make people feel good. Gay guys think I'm flirting with them just because I'm being nice. I'm a pretty nice guy most of the time, unless I'm in extreme pain that day for whatever reason. At any rate, the joke I made is if we got it on, I'm afraid to get it on because I said I don't want to pound her pelvis to dust. And what I normally say is I don't want to break her hip. You break her hips, man. Fucking old. It's an old skeleton there. It's kind of fucking brittle. She's probably got osteoporosis and everything else, which that's why the dust thing came into my brain. And then it hit me for the first time ever. And I said it in the video. Well, then again, if she's got good health insurance, am I covered? Like, I called my USAA. I've got USA insurance. I got renter's insurance because I need to know, hey, if I had sex with an old lady here and I broke her hips, am I covered under my renter's insurance? Like, I need to know the answer to this. They haven't gotten back to me on that. Anyhow, a couple women took umbrage with the term old lady, and now I'm letting you know. 70s, 80s, that's old to me. If you're in your 50s, that depends on you. If you look real old and you're walking all hunched over and you're totally out of shape and you sound old, like your ideas are old and your clothes are old and everything, you're old, you're old. There's 30-year-old old people. We know this, right? You know what I'm saying. Again, this is an emotional reaction that you can't control yourself from taking the emotional thought and then putting it out there. If you would just process it for a minute, you'd realize it's just a joke. Just being funny doesn't mean anything. It's not about you. Listen, sister, in case nobody's told you, not everything's about you. So, at any rate, today I spoke with my friend Lisa, who, oh man, Lisa D, super cool, one of the hottest girls in school, everything. And we were talking, and the one friend came up in our conversation. She's awesome. I bring her up because we were talking this summer. I'd really like to get home this summer. We've got the 40th, my high school 40th anniversary, man. 40 friggin' years. So we'll see if I could pull it off. I talked to another gal pal of mine back home this week, who's a really funny person. Not trying to be, just is. And she's going to be working at my buddy's shop this summer, it looks like. And she told me she's got an extra bedroom and everything. She's like, I need work on this house. So it's looking good. You might have saw my latest video on what's going on with the VA. I'm waiting for this paperwork to come. It looks like it's going to come now because they had the wrong address somehow because, DEI probably. That's probably what was going on there. Not hiring people based on intellect, but how they look. Retarded, but that's what's been going on, and that shit's going to stop. At any rate, is we all feel that. That screws a lot of our lives up. You don't, until you deal with it personally, you might not think it's a thing. When you have to deal with it, you'll see it's a thing. So she said, look, if you don't have enough money, she's like, come bring your tools, stay at my pad. I'll give you a couple bucks at the same time to work on the place. So that's viable. That makes the trip far more likely. But when the paperwork comes from the VA, I'm going to contact the guy who's doing this stuff for me. And I'm going to offer him a bonus. I'm going to say, look, if you can get this done and out there as soon as you can so I can get this settled with them before the summer. Excuse me. I just scarfed down a bunch of food. That's why I'm burping. And because, I'm so pro. It'd be great. That's how TV should be. That's how the news should be. You just be guys picking their nose, scratching their ass, burping, and just being real. You would actually be able to listen to them and go, oh, this is a real human being. At any rate, This ain't, you know, this ain't AI. You know what I'm saying? This AI can't be this horrible. Um, yeah, so I got that. But then if the VA stuff could kick in, the back pay on this will be a year. So that would be a hefty check. And that means going home this summer would be awesome. It means if that could happen, then it's an epic road trip if that happens, because I can stop it. For you guys, you'll love it because I'll do a bunch of videos on all these places with the van and staying with friends in all these different states and all these fun adventures. And I would love to be home in, you know, September, October, when it's when the surfing is good, the water is warm, the crowds are gone, and being out there with all your friends surfing like it's 1985 again. It's that's a good time. So I'm looking forward to making that one happen. What else do I have here? Oh, just a funny thing how women perceive things. And look, yes, ladies, I'm giving you a hard time here regularly. Yeah, because nobody else is. Your husband ain't doing it. This is my friggin' job. They don't. They're scared. They don't want to sleep on the sofa and get a sore neck and everything else. They want to stay in the bed with you. They're thinking a lot of things they ain't saying to you. So, fellas, I'm saying it for you. Lisa was so hot in high school. She still is. She's adorable. Guy died a week or so ago. That was one of the teachers at my school. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't have a favorable opinion of the guy. I'm not happy he's dead. It's a terrible thing. I just because my experience with him wasn't great, I don't hate the guy, but he was a jerk. Multiple people will tell you this, but not the girls. Because Lisa says, he was so sweet. He was such a sweet guy. He was so nice. And I laughed. I said, well, Lisa, that's because you're a woman. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, you were a hot chick, man. He was nice to you because you were hot. Period. This is why your perception, like women, your perception of reality is completely 100% off the fucking rails, man. It is not reality. Your perception of reality and when you're dealing with men is has everything to do with you. Things are happening, but your perception of how you see it, based on how men are reacting to you and what they're telling you, is based on you. So if you're hot, you think that guy's nice, you think this, you think that, but that's because you're hot. My opinion of the guy was he was a jerk. I'll give you a couple examples why. In school, I don't know if they still do this. We had like drivers. This guy hated me. He hated me. He hated everything about me. I was living alone, 14 years old, living alone. Everybody knew it. The whole school knew it, everything. All the parties were happening at my house. The daughters of prominent people in town, including teachers at the school and everything else, were partying at my house. They weren't happy about it, man. You know, I got stories. And wasn't like, I did the sports, but I wasn't putting in 100% effort, and he didn't like that because I was too busy partying, man. I mean, like, I went to school every day basically to plan the party for the weekend or know what other parties are going on if it wasn't happening at my pad. High school was just a social thing. I still wake up with nightmares thinking I got to pass a test. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how I got out of there. Uh, it was crazy. We had driver's ed, and the day we took the written test, I bring my test up to him, and he scores it. I got 100 on the test, and this jerk looks up at me and he goes, if I hadn't watched you take that test, I'd accuse you of cheating. That's what he thought of me. Jerk. Now, another friend of mine, he's actually one of the guys I was talking about with the daughters and everything. He was an athlete in school, very good athlete. And he and I, last day of school, we were in the, he's such a nice guy. I love this guy. He really is a good human being. Um, and he was kind of always a bit of a soft-spoken guy, but fun. You know, I mean, you know, we had a good time. But last day of school, we were in the locker room, just me and him, and we were going to like get out early, and we're trying to figure out this way to get through this fence above the lockers, you know. And this teacher came in and started berating. He didn't even worry about me. He berated me enough for the few years I was at that high school. But he starts berating my friend, and my friend lit into him. Last day of school. We already had graduated and everything. Got nothing to lose. You could say anything you want to the principal, teacher. Nothing could happen to you. You're out. You're done. You're gone. It's like your last day at work. You know what I'm saying? Woohoo! Take this job and shove it. That was the attitude. And man, my pal just ripped into this teacher. He called him an asshole to his face and everything. It was crazy. I was like slack jawed. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then he turned around and walked. I followed him. I was like, holy crap, dude. Where did that come from? It was wild. So I had to explain that to her, and I think she got it. Let's get on to John Bolton here. I watched, a propaganda interview. You don't know who John Bolton is. He was a high-ranking official in the government. What the hell did he do? Was he Secretary of State under somebody? He was up there. And Trump inherited him, but Trump fired him because he's a warmonger. He's a mouthpiece for the military-industrial complex. Everything he's ever done around the world was funded by USAID. 100%. And he's in this interview and he's talking smack about Trump. Fine, you expect it. Now, I'm not doing this. I should do this. I should take that video and play it, and every sentence stop it and explain to you what he just said. Because what he just said isn't what he just said. The words that he used have nothing to do with what he means. What he means is in the words, but not the definition of those words. It's all manipulation. It's straw man. He'll say something that he could take down, and it's so calculated. And it's how they manipulate weak minds. And if you're not eating enough meat and your testosterone isn't going, you're going to be weak-minded, soft-brained. He made this comment, and I thought about it. It just jumped out at me. He's like, Trump. The interviewer might have used the metaphor of playing chess, and Bolton tore that down. He's like, oh well, Trump. He thinks he's playing chess, but he just plays one move at a time. He's not thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead. Well, this is geopolitics. It ain't chess. In the game of chess, there's one outcome. Well, there could be a stalemate, I suppose, but the goal of the game is to take the king. Period. That's it. There's nothing else. There's all these different strategies, and you could read books on it. You could do it faster. You could do a thing where you take all the pieces, as many pieces, and there's all these different ways to play that game. It's always one outcome. Get rid of the king. What happens if you were playing chess and all of a sudden all the chess pieces turned into the same color? That's geopolitics, right? Because in the real world, you make certain moves, and one move early on, right when the game starts, could suddenly make it to where now we're friends. We're not enemies anymore, and there's no king to take. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. So the example I'm making is they're convincing you it's a chess game. And we've got to make all these things in advance, which means we got to move these people here. We got to give these people money. We got to support these guys. We got to put arms here. We got to do that because we have to prepare for this war, because that's their mindset. Trump is, I don't want war at all. So I'm saying this so that I can get to this, no war, as quick as possible. That's the friggin' genius of the way that Trump's brain works. Because Trump will make a threat, like the tariffs. Oh my God, the tariffs. Oh, it's going to make this happen and that happen. Okay. Some things that might hurt us temporarily could happen. Some might happen. Some of them might have happened already. It ain't going to last. The threat of the tariffs, or anything that Trump says, let me explain it to you, because some people don't seem to get it. Number one, he means it. He's crazy enough to do it. The next thing is, he's doing it and saying what he's saying to make the other side realize, shit, if we start doing this tit for tat thing, we're fucked. Because the reality is, sounds harsh, we don't need anybody. The USA doesn't need anybody. We could do it all on our own. I'm not suggesting we do that. It's a global economy and everything else. But if we had to be by ourselves, we could do that. Most other countries can't. And these deals were made a long time ago where morons running our country, they're really moron. I don't know. It's more like corrupt lying bastards. Maybe that's a more accurate way to put it. Have been running these deals with other countries. You think if a country's charging all these tariffs on us for a particular product, that's what's okay. Well, no, they make all this extra money on that, and that goes to the people that allowed them to set up the deal here, right? People in Congress, bureaucrats. This is that's why Doge is here, man. This is why they're fighting so hard against it. It's crazy what's going on with this. They are fighting it very hard because it's the golden calf, man. It's the chicken that lays the golden eggs. And it's going away and they see it and they're scared. And they got used to sucking on that tit. And that tit is being cut off, man. Sorry for the imagery. That's a bad one. I'm sorry about that one. Ugh. Apologies. Even I don't like that. I don't like seeing anything happen to boobies. I like boobies. Boobies are beautiful. Boobies. So anyhow, I'm just trying to lay it out for you. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going on because the people have been ripping us off, stealing our tax dollars, lying to us, creating all kinds of scenarios based on the game of chess. They've been doing this. They've been lining their pockets. And the thing that's the evil part about it, because there's an evil here, is that most of this stuff that they've been doing has led to the death of human beings, and children and women, and some of them dying in the most horrific ways. And these people don't care. They don't care about it. And that's the part. That's why I'm upset about it. That's why I'm speaking to you guys the way that I do about this stuff. Because I want it to stop. Trump wants it to stop. Elon wants it to stop. Elon's stealing. What's he stealing? Show me what he's stealing, you lying morons. Show me what he's stealing. He's losing money. Same thing with Trump. There's a great parallel here with Trump and Elon and Vivek and other people that got wealthy in the private sector that are now working to get us back on the right track. And that's the founding fathers, because they risked their wealth and their freedoms and their lives in the pursuit of creating a country where we can have liberty and freedoms and speak our minds and say what we think and speak out against our government and do all those things without the fear of, getting our heads cut off. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they fought for. That's what this country is about. And something happened. And had been building for a long time. The Obama administration got real bad with it. Clinton actually fired a lot of federal workers. This is the thing, too. I love these memes that pop up. Like, if you weren't... A little explosion outside. That was a pretty big explosion. I don't know if you guys heard that. I've been hearing weird explosions in LA lately. Like in the middle of the night. There's people just lighting off like M80s at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's bizarre. If you didn't get upset when Biden was firing people for not getting the jab, then screw you if you're upset now. Because they're firing people that don't even exist. They don't exist, or they don't do any work or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These guys are risking everything and losing money just trying to do the right thing. And if you don't agree with what I just said, doing the right thing, you think it's not the right thing, based on what? I want to know in the comments, who are you listening to? What's your source of information for why it's bad? I keep seeing these people say things that it's just not true. Oh, they're going to shut down this completely. They're going to shut down Social Security. They're going to shut down the VA. No, they're not. It's not even a thing you got to worry about. Are some people who work there going to lose their jobs? Probably. Dead weight. That's it. These are federal workers. These are federal dollars, tax dollars, money comes out of your pocket that pays salaries. If you're not pulling your weight, go away, because that's how it works in the private sector. Government jobs should not have better guarantees, better pensions, pay upgrades, unions. Unions in the public sector is a scam and a ripoff. It's just a way for them to manipulate the system to get more tax dollars. It's crazy. Private sector unions, fine. If that's what people want to do, fine. If you want to get into the history of unions, by the way, it ain't all friggin' candy canes and lollipops. Okay. In my opinion, unions were set up in the beginning for power, to get groups of people to vote certain ways. That's why they created them. I know they tell us 40-hour work week, get kids. But that was actually Ford that did that. He created the 40-hour work week. Kids working, okay, in the mines, dangerous, of course. But I'll tell you what, you give an 8-year-old purpose, a little job to do, and you pay him money, that kid going to be more productive than a 28-year-old right now in the workforce. Straight up. So I'm just saying, not everything we're told is the truth, is all I'm saying. But yeah, we have to shrink government. It's ridiculous. And the whole, what happened was, and like I was saying, it got worse under Obama because DEI really kicked off then, but the country has been being run by bureaucrats. It's unconstitutional. They got away from the Constitution. That's what's been going on. So presidents haven't been doing the job. If you read what the executive branch, the head of the executive branch, the president, when he comes in, he has the mandate to hire and fire the people he thinks he needs to, and then set the country on a course, a trajectory for what he thinks. That's how it is. And both sides of government are really supposed to work together to help achieve that goal. That's really how the government is set up. This whole thing with USAID, the beauty of them taking this down and cutting all this funding is, again, in case you haven't looked this up, the Associated Press, New York Times, a lot of big-time news organizations, that's how they've been getting paid. That's where the money's coming from. That's why it's always the same stories. Everything's scripted. Who's doing the scripting? George Soros, probably, those people. So, like, you think it has been news. It hasn't been news. And I've been saying this long before. Years I've been talking about this shit. It's always been scripted. It's always been bullshit. It always turns out to be bullshit and a lie, and then they never correct it. Now, the crazy thing is there's been lawsuits. Trump has sued news organizations. Other people have sued them, and they've won millions of dollars. How often do you see the apologies? How often do you see the corrections? They're there sometimes, but it's a minute here and there. Of course, they're not going to dwell on it. But many of you don't even know that. Not my guys, but there's a few of you here that just are here just to listen to me because I make you so mad that it gives you a purpose in life to hate me. Anyhow, I just had to get that off my chest. Oh, and yeah, hey man. SpaceX, man. Elon's company rescuing astronauts. Are they talking about that very much in the media right now? I mean, has it been a big thing? Used to be a huge thing, what was going on in space, but now, oh no, not now. Elon was on Rogan, I think it was within the last week or two. I finally found the time to listen to it last night while I was making this badass watch band here. I came up with this system. Finally, I had a thinner band on this. It was only 20 mil between the lugs, and I made this wide enough to go out to the outside lugs here. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot better on the wrist. At any rate, while I was making this yesterday, one of the things I listened to was the Rogan podcast with Elon. And he just tells it like it is, man. I encourage you to do that. Let's get back to my advice, which is turn off the media because they're lying to you. And get on YouTube or Rumble or X, whatever. I'm not even on X. But watch the things that are real, start to finish, without cuts or edits or commentary. I've mentioned the Forbes thing already, which is they're like every day, multiple times a day. Benny Johnson's pretty good as well. But multiple times a day, there are things happening with Trump, let's say, if that's who you want to watch. And it's just they turn the camera on. He's signing executive orders. He's talking to the people. Trump gives everybody in the room credit. He mentions all their names. He brings them up. He asks them to talk. It's not just about him, unlike many of our other presidents. He gives the credit to everybody. He's always doing that in the crowd. Hey, so and so here, what a great job he's done, and da da da, and says positive things about their wives and their kids and what they do and everything else. He's always uplifting. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm busting your balls a lot of the time too, and I'm purposefully irking some of you because it's fun for me. I get entertainment out of it. What pisses you off makes me laugh. That's why I'm happy. So they'll show it start to finish. He'll take questions from the press. Boom, 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 one after another, right down the line. The subject can change from this to the next, 180 degrees, another thing. And when some idiot asks him a stupid question, he's like, "Why are you asking that question?" And then boom, goes on to the next one. He's a fucking man. He's still producing testosterone, I think. It seems like he is. He's got more hair than I do. Although we don't know. It's his hair's looking a little thin, but he's almost 80 years old. Imagine he's 78. Look at him compared to Biden, man. It's crazy. The auto pen story. This is a big friggin' deal, man. I don't know if the left media is covering this at all. Probably not. But a lot of the stuff that was auto pen stamped basically is going to be null and void. What's that going to mean? What's that going to mean? Like, who was running the country for 4 years? You know what I'm saying? The last 4 months or so in office and all the pardons and everything else that happened. That's insane. That is so crazy that happened. And people who are Democrats, calling themselves Democrats anyhow, if they're not aware of this, like, because they're not paying attention, they won't pay attention to anything that they're, they're watching one thing. They're still listening to the same heads, the talking heads that lied to them about the Hunter laptop, lied to them about COVID, lied to them about the masks, supported Fauci, all the things that were total lies and manipulations that we now know the truth of. Those people who told you all that, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your brain if you're still listening to the same people who continually lie to you. So from now on, when I have a discussion with somebody and they say something that I know is nonsense, the first thing out of my mouth has got to be, where did you hear that? What is your source? Because their thing is, they always do that to me. What's your source? Well, my source is YouTube. My source is, pretty much YouTube for the most part. And on YouTube, it would be the Forbes channel. Or, Benny Johnson is red meat for Republicans. I get that. But he's showing some good stuff. But I catch some CNN, MSNBC. I watch a little bit of all of it. That's why I'm kind of well-rounded. I know what they're saying. I know what they're avoiding. So it's, I'm just saying. Are you not aware of this? Like, it's crazy. So, again, 8 weeks in, they're still trying to manipulate everything, but they have to lose on all of these issues because things are going to be getting better, and there are wins every week, and we'll see more of this as we go. And I have to say this too, because I was watching Bill Maher. Bill Maher had Kid Rock on. I was listening to that when I listened to a lot of stuff yesterday. It took all stinking day to make this band, as I mentioned. And Bill Maher's big problem with Trump is the not conceding the 2020 election, which he did concede. But he said it was a sham. He said the fix was in. He said he didn't believe it. And he did try to get things turned around there because of all the shenanigans that we all saw. I watched it. I watched days leading into the 2020 election. I watched the election. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning. He was He won. He woke up in the morning, he didn't win. And then I watched everything after that and all the news things where they're at the locations and people were putting up newspaper and papers on the windows so you couldn't see them counting ballots and taking boxes of ballots out. And then the ballots that were found, all ballots found in dumpsters, all kinds of crazy shit going on. All of that happened, and somehow the Democrats don't know about it because the channels they were watching wasn't reporting on it. But I saw it. And they didn't win a case in court. The court refused to take the case. The courts refused to look at the evidence. There was never a case in the courts where it was proven that the 2020 election was legit. They just made the statement, but there was never really a case fought for it, which could happen. That might still happen. Nothing can be done about it now. But as I've said before, best thing that ever happened was the last 4 years, all the horrible stuff. Everything that happened with the pandemic where businesses were shut down and we're never going to see it again. And all the people that died and everything else. Horrible. Got my mother. Terrible. Horrendous, horrible shit that we all had to live through. Lied to, manipulated, everything else. The horrible economy, the price of everything skyrocketing, the ridiculous withdrawal in Afghanistan, leaving all that equipment behind. Allowing the pipeline, Putin to make money with oil. Same thing with Iran. So they made enough money where they could prosecute wars and give money. Iran could give money to Hamas, and October 7th happening. All the stuff that happened because they didn't let Trump be president again. And they only gave him 2 years, really, because they had to create that pandemic thing to start taking him down in the last 2 years of his presidency, because he got so much done in the first 2 years, it scared the shit out of him, even with people in his circle that were there trying to kill him. They were trying to stab Caesar. That's what they were trying to do. And, I mean, there's attempts on him all the time. He was literally shot in the head. People are still trying to kill him. So, it's insane what we're seeing right now. That's just the whole thing. But it might happen where they do bring up the evidence and prove that the 2020 election was a fraud. And Kid Rock wasn't the best guy to be talking to Bill Maher about it, because if I heard him say this, that, and the other one more fucking time, I was going to throw the computer across the room. My sister says it all. This, that, and the other. This, that, and the other. Look, man. 2 times, maybe 3 times in an hour is enough of that. If you keep saying the same friggin' phrase over and over again, what are you, a fucking robot? What is going on? Learn another fucking phrase, all right? But he couldn't articulate it that way. And that's a shame, because Maher needs to be shut down on that one. Like, somebody needs to say to Maher, you're fucking wrong to have that opinion on that, and here's why. But what is cool is that Kid Rock's trying to get Bill Maher an audience with Trump. He wants them to be friends, which would be huge. Bill Maher is such a pompous, smug jerk. I just don't like him. I never really liked him. I'm happy that he's, come to his senses, but a big part of that is he knows that by doing that, it's helping his career. He sees how crazy the Dems have gotten. But I'll tell you right now, if Trump hadn't won, he'd be on the side of the Dems with everything. He's going to ride the wave that's going to provide him with the most success. He's not stupid. He sees what they are. I'm just saying. But those two together talking would be awesome, because Trump's got balls too, and he's not going to let Maher get away with bullshit. If Maher hit him with that, you wouldn't concede the election. He's going to say, what are you talking about? I left, I gave it to him. But I said this, and I said that, and I stand by this, and here's why. Because they wouldn't do this and that. Trump would just hit him with all this stuff. And Maher would go, oh, well, yeah. And then he'd change, he'd change course there, go to another subject, make a joke. Because he can't ever admit he's wrong. Every once in a while he admits it, but it's hard for him to do that. He constantly falls back into his position there. It's a problem I used to have years ago with people, where you would talk to them, you'd explain it, they would get it, And then they would still fall back into this thing because that's where this is the bubble that they fall back into. That's where all their friends are and everything, and they want to keep their friends, and they risk losing them. I've told you guys this story before. 2010, when I had a bad wreck, broke my wrist, and a lot of women came out of the woodwork to help me out. But this one woman in particular, she's a comedian. She wanted to be a comedian and an actress, and she was a lesbian, but things happen. But she was coming over to help me out, and I was watching O'Reilly and Glenn Beck, and there was a lot of that stuff on, and I would fast forward because I'd DVR it, and she'd go, well, that's not true. And I go, well, let's back it up. Let's stop it. Let's look it up on the internet. Boom, boom. She goes, oh my God. I got her to do a whole 180. So much so that on Facebook, she started sharing stuff, and then her friends started attacking her. And she came over one day. She's like, Mike, I can't be part of this anymore. I mean, I want to have a career here in Hollywood. And if she's like, I know that this is the truth now, but I can't talk about it anymore. I can't put it out there because this is my goal. My goal is to be a successful actress and comedian. I can't do this. That was wild, but it was the truth. Those Obama years were rough, man. At any rate, that's where I'm going to leave you. I guess we've probably been close to an hour now, and I didn't want any of this to happen with this. I don't like talking about the politics, really, but I guess it's going to be this for a little while at least, just where I'm talking about the week and what I'm seeing happen and making you guys realize there's good stuff happening. There's going to be more good stuff. And, if you're dealing with somebody, you can unfollow them, you can unfriend them, you can block them, you can unfollow them, whatever you think is best. Like when it comes to Facebook, I used to just unfriend people, but lately I'm just unfollowing them, so I'm not seeing their stuff pop up because they're being ridiculous. But if you have to talk to them in person and they're saying some stuff that isn't right, you could just say, well, I don't agree with you. Here's why. Where are you hearing this? Okay. And if they become real jerks and they're just persistent and they're yelling at you, then the best one is, you sound vaccinated. To me, you sound like you're vaccinated. I'll leave you with that one. You guys have a great day. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you in the next one.